Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, initially, we'll start our program through the invocation prayer. So, please close your hands. Om Shahana Bhavatu Shahano Bhunaktu Shahabirjam Karubhavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. On behalf of Psychology Research Unit, Indian Statistical Institute, I welcome you all for the third day program. And I am very much honored to say that is my favorite two students, Ms. Shivani Santosh. Now she is a doctor. So Dr. Shivani Santosh and Dr. Anurupa Kundu, they will teach you some of the important issues in psychological research. And you know that Psychology Research Unit of the Indian Statistical Institute is regularly teaching advanced statistical model. So we are giving importance on specifically the multivariate approach. For last 2 days, you have understood the rating scale design, item response theory. You have learned the RStudio also, and you have received some glimpses about why do you study the multivariate statistical model in item analysis. So now I am requesting Dr. Anurupa Kundu to introduce Dr. Shivani Santosh. So Dr. Anurupa Kundu, please.
Am I audible to everyone? Good morning to everybody, all participants present over here. I'm really honored to be a part of this workshop, which is conducted by my supervisor, my PhD supervisor. So now the talk which will be given by one of my senior, Dr. Shivani Santosh. She is currently Associate Professor and Head of Applied Psychology Department, the Neotia University. She have more than 15 years of professional and research experience. She did her MPhil from the eminent institute, Central Institute of Psychiatry, and have completed her PhD from Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. She have publications and she have publications in national and international journals, and she have also presented papers in international and national conferences. So right now she is going to begin her talk. Thank you. Presentation is very nice.
Thank you, Anurupa. Good morning, everyone. This is a very nice morning to learn some more about statistics, right? And thank you, my beloved, my supervisor, sir, and our beloved teacher, Dr. Datta Roy, who has invited me for this workshop. This is a 3-day workshop on multivariate analysis, and you must have learned a lot during these 2 days. Today is the 3rd day, and I will be talking about ANOVA. So, ANOVA is something which, multivariate is something which many of the researchers, especially from psychology background, are very scared of. So what is ANOVA? I will try to, very much simplify the concept and try to explain it in a very simple sense, what exactly it is. So I'm sharing my screen. Hope to take that away. Yes. Okay. Just a minute, let me find my, this is open, right? This is share screen. Can you all see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm doing. Where it is? No. Slideshow. Why it's not coming in here? From the beginning. Yes. Yes. So now it is visible, right? Okay. So, there are one way. Firstly, what is ANOVA? Like we all know what is t-test. What is t-test? When there are two groups and we want to see whether the two groups differ significantly to each other, we do the t-test. What are the two groups? Two groups could be anything like male and female, and I want to see their attitude towards learning maybe, or their attitude towards the health efficacy. So whether they differ significantly to each other, whether their mean differs significantly to each other, and how we assess it by doing the t-test. And when the t-test is significant, we say that this two groups significantly differ to each other. It means there is some kind of difference. Males are, if the study is like to study the learning attitude towards learning between male and female students, college students, and the t-test is saying that it is significantly, it has come significant t-test, then we can say that males and female, their attitude towards learning differ significantly, right? This is what we do in t-test, because there are two groups. But what to do when there is more than two groups? And here, when I am saying the two-way ANOVA, you must have heard about one-way ANOVA also. There is one-way ANOVA, then there is two-way ANOVA. One-way ANOVA is something where there's only one independent variable. Independent variable with different levels of, there are different levels of independent variable. Here I'm taking two independent variable and its effect on one dependent variable. Two independent variable with different levels, right? That is why this is two-way ANOVA. When there are two category variables. What is category variables? Dichotomous variables, which we say, which could be the different levels. For example, if I'm talking about some illumination, if I want to see the effect of illumination on reading capacity, right? Illumination is kitne watt ka bulb hai, right? Kitne watt mein ka bulb hai. If it is the three level of illumination, one could be 100 watt, 50 watt or 10 watt. So this is the category variable, dichotomous variable. So here in the two-way ANOVA, there are two category variable and one is dependent variable. Usse pehle, when we move forward with ANOVA, before that, I think we should know what is the little bit introduction about the ANOVA. Firstly, it was Fisher who talked about variance. What is variance? Variance is how much the score is moving away or moving, away from the mean. That is the variance. So, kitna difference hai? How much differing from the mean? How much somebody performance is going away from or moving away from the mean performance, and then specifically somebody's performance on variance. So ANOVA is a method. Fisher actually, R.A. Fisher gave the variance. That is why we also say that F test. When we talked about ANOVA, we also said it is F test because we measure F. Then ANOVA is a method for testing the difference among the different group of data for homogeneity, whether these different groups are homogeneous or not. Homogeneous is something, homogeneous mean ek jaise hai ya nahi. So we say, either we can say whether they differ significantly to each other, or we can say whether these groups or data is homogeneous, ek jaise hai ya nahi, right? That is what we see in ANOVA. And then how we see it? We see it by variation. And variation, we say there are two kind of variation. One is attribute to the chance. It could be the error variance. And one is specific causes. Yes, jo real cause tha, that is why the groups are significantly differing to each other. So specific reason for the variance. Lot many statistics word I'm using, but it doesn't mean that it is very tough. Statistical words we have to use, the mean, the variance, still significantly differ. These are the very terminologies which are used in research methodology or statistics to understand the concept better. So don't get scared of this thing. There is nothing of and whenever you think that you want to ask me something, you can ask me. You can pause me and ask me. Okay. And the two-way ANOVA, what? Usually when we do something, we see the relationship between learning on memory. Memory on learning, right? Or relationship between high achievement, motivation, and academic performance. So these are two variables which are working isolately. मतलब isolation में academic performance है and isolation में ही हमारा intrinsic और motivation है. So if I ask you whether a person academic performance only depend on motivation level, is there any other factors also which can contribute to academic performance? What I want to know, if somebody is doing some kind of performing in college exams, सिर्फ उसकी motivation level से ही उसके exams का result differ करता है या और factors भी होते हैं? Whether there are other factors also, or it's only the motivation level? What do you think?
Other factors also work.
Yes. So other factors also there. So in psychology, most of the time when we study the different variables, we see the interactional approach. We see the interaction level of or interaction, what the effect of interaction of different variables on a dependent variable. Okay. When we see test only the one variable on one-to-one relationship देखते हैं, तब भी होता है. और दूसरा जो सबसे important है psychology में, that is to see the combined influence of the variables on dependent variable. So combined level and independent variable I talked about. So इसका मतलब है there, if I say the different levels of there are two variables, variable A and variable B. One could be, and its effect on dependent variable. So one thing is, one effect is solely the effect of A variable on the dependent variable. Other thing is solely the effect of B variable on the dependent variable. And the other thing is the effect of combined A and B together on the dependent variable, right? इसको मैं एग्जांपल से समझाने की कोशिश करती हूँ. मान लीजिए the hours of studying, motivation level, and its effect on academic performance. Here the dependent variable is academic performance. Variable A is hours of studying. Variable B is motivation level. Now, one thing I can see, the effect of hours of studying on academic performance. Other thing I can see, the effect of motivation on learning, academic performance. And other thing I can see, which is more interest to me, is combined effect of hours of studying and motivation level. So here I can see the interaction effect of A plus B on dependent variable. So, first question जो मैंने बोले, एक variable के, that is the main effects. And the third question I put, that is the interactional effect, where I say the effect of hours of study and the motivation on dependent variable is interaction effect. So this is the main effect and interaction effect. Here again, I'm trying to define it in this slide. The main effect is the effect on the performance of one treatment variable in isolation. Yes, yes.
If you are changing the slides, I don't know why they were changing it now. It is with all.
You're not audible. Can you say clearly? Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, your screen, like the slides are not changing. Slides not changing.
Let me see.
Yes, ma'am. We can see only first slide in our
Yes,
front.
ma'am.
Change-
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for letting me know this, right? Because from my side, I'm changing my slide. Right. Let me.
Ma'am, the slideshow has not yet started. It is just showing the title slide only and the.
Let
Ma'am,
me.
you need to reshare your slides once again when you open the slideshow.
Now, can you see? Second slide.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because I was doing that. Okay, I will doing like this only. I will not be doing the slideshow because my slideshow is not changing. It happens sometime in Zoom. Okay, so this was the first slide. Okay, admit. So this was the first slide. Thank you, Ayushi, for letting me know about this thing. There are a lot many technical glitch we have this during the webinars. So this is the this was the first slide. So variation, we when we measure the ANOVA, we measure through the variations. So one is towards the chance, another is towards the causes. So this was the slide which was earlier. I was trying to explain the one variables, how it affect and how the combined effect of the variables comes. Okay. This is the thing which I explained you, that the variable A and variable B and combined effect of A and B. Here in variable A, I said that hours of studying. Variable B was motivation effect and its effect on the academic performance. So we can see the isolation main effects is when we see the effect of only hours of study in isolation. That is the main effect. And we say when I say that I want to see the effect of both hours of study and motivation, that is the interaction effect. And in psychology, because we are human being, so it's not like it's not that simple. Like 1 + 1 is 4 is not that simple. It's like lot many variables have their combined effect on some dependent variable, on every factor. So to do this kind of studies, mostly we do for the interaction thing. So I can say that the main effect is the effect on the performance of one treatment variable considered in isolation and ignoring other variables. कोई भी दूसरे और variables को हम नहीं देख रहे हैं तब. We are only concentrating on one variable. And the interaction effect is when, the interactive effect occurs when the effect of one variables is different across one or more variables. Okay. So factorial design, ANOVA and factorial design. This is a very डरावनी factorial.
Ma'am, just want to interrupt.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah. Ma'am, actually, I haven't used the ANOVA never, but I have used the regression analysis. And I want to know just how both are related and how both are different.
Regression session will be after my session from 12. So you here the main thing is, like in t-test, we see the difference between the two groups, whether this is significant or not. In ANOVA, we want to see more than. तब क्या करोगे जब if you have more than two groups? What will do then? So that is why ANOVA is there. Okay. One way ANOVA is there when there is only one independent variable with different levels. For example, I want to see the effect of illumination on my reading capacity, right? Illumination kitni light hai yahan pe, uska kitni how it affect my reading capacity. So I can check I can have 10 people in 3 groups. One group, A group is having 100-watt bulb. Second group is having 50-watt bulb and third group is having 10-watt bulb. And then I am saying that kitna reading capacity hai, unka kitna reading speed hai. So here the independent variable was illumination level, right? और उसके कितने levels थे? 3 levels थे. But dependent variable is only the. Okay, I will keep doing it. Sorry, I will keep doing it. So the dependent variable was the reading capacity. So here the 1 way ANOVA, why? Because only one independent variable, but it has the 3 levels. But 2-way ANOVA, because it has 2 independent variables with the different levels. Okay. So how the factorial design? Factorial design is very fat term, fat I said, and very scary term, because we all used to scared a lot by this bada words, factorial designs and everything. But actually, this is very simple. Why it is simple? Because once you understand what is the logic behind it and why we say it factorial design, you will understand why I'm saying it simple. So firstly, I said 2 independent variable having 2 levels. Okay, that is why it is 2 by 2 factorial designs. Generalized way is k into L. Factorial hum 2 by 2 kaise likhe? Because the general formula is k by L. K is the value of first independent variable. L is the value of second independent variable. Now, this or ye value hai kya? In the levels. For example, now I'm going back to the first example of mine, the illumination level. You can see I'm wearing a chashma, right? I'm wearing my specs. Ayush, even Ayush is wearing a specs. So many of us are who wear specs. So illumination proper hone se bhi, this can affect our reading speed, right? So I can say that if I'm saying the 3 levels of illumination I've taken first in the first example, one was 100, one was 50, one was 10. Now I also want to take the 2 level of eyesight, one with the people with specs, other without specs. And then I want to see their reading capacity. So dependent variable is here is reading capacity or reading speed. Number one independent variable is the same illumination level with 3 levels, 100, 50 and 10. Independent variable 2 is just a minute. Independent level 2 is our people with specs and without specs. So how many levels are here for independent variable 2? Anybody?
2 levels.
2 levels. तो यहाँ पर कितना factorial design हुआ? पहले वाले के 3 level थे, दूसरे वाले के 2. 2 by 3. Okay. 3 was for one. First wala illumination level was 3 and 2 levels for my specs and non-specs. It means I'm seeing the effect of people with specs, with their illumination and 100 watt में कितना उनका effect होता है. मतलब I want to see their every level में. दोबारा से next slide में मैं जा रही हूँ, तो मुझे ज़्यादा अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. But what design I will say it is 3 by 2 design.
We can take any one first or second, 3 by 2 or 2 by 3, both will be same, I think.
No, k is for first variable and L is for second variable. If I'm saying first variable,
is there any sense of having the variable on the first and second level? Because both are.
See, it depends on the researcher how you frame your study. If I want to frame my study, the effect of illumination and I thought on the reading speed, then my first variable was illumination. If you want to say that the effect of eyesight and illumination, then your first variable is eyesight. So जो यहाँ पर होगा वही factorial में होगा. It is on the researcher how you are framing your study. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. So this is here. If I say the 2 levels illumination की अगर मैं 2 levels लेती हूँ, मान लीजिए 100 watt and 50 watt. So A1 is 100, A2 is 50. B1 is people with specs, B2 is people with non-specs. So here can you see there are how many groups total in I having?
4 groups.
4 groups. So in group number 1, that will be A1, B1. People will come with 100 illumination and with specs. B1 was the specs. A2 will be, A1 will be 100 illumination and people without specs. A2 will be 50 illumination, people without specs. And ये वाला जो है A2, B2 will be 50 illumination with people with specs. So I will have the 4 groups in all. And it was the effect of 2 by 2. It was 2 by 2. You can see the 2 level of independent variable 1 and 2 level of independent variable 2. So this is design will be known as 2 by 2 factorial designs. Here, what I'm seeing, the effect of A versus 3, मतलब क्या हुआ? यहाँ पे you can see this. I want to highlight it. Can you see? I just try to highlight it.
Maybe it is visible. It is visible. Your cursor is visible.
Okay, my cursor is visible. Good. So this is these two effect of this A1, this ये दोनों जो है, इन दोनों का effect versus इन दोनों का effect, right? So this is what I'm doing. And same way I'm doing the, third versus fourth. This is the how I'm doing this third versus fourth, how the performance is. And we can also say that effect of interaction. Here you can see effect of A1 or B1 is different. In different groups, it is different. A1 is causing A1, ये देखो A1 जो है causing B2 here, and here the A1 is causing B1 here. A1 में ही A1 was our illumination, right? Illumination में 100 illumination में इस power के साथ B2 was without people, they were reading here, reading capacity was here. मान लीजिए ये 5 है यहाँ पे अगर ग्राफ है तो, right? And इधर ही 100 में B1 was people without specs, उनकी reading capacity इतनी ज्यादा थी. B2 की यहाँ पे है, B1 की यहाँ पर है. यहीं पे हमें समझ में आ रहा है इस ग्राफ को अगर हम देखें, if we can see this graph, here only we can understand that how people are coming as differently in each group. Same way here also you can see the effect of A1 and A2 on B2. ठीक है, this but here no interaction we can see. Can you see the interaction? Here only A1 का effect B1 के ऊपर कितना है, B1 का A2 का मतलब they are showing not showing the combined effect, it's only showing the main effect. So interaction of the variable में क्या होगा? In order to test
Ma'am, can you please repeat again that graph? Please explain again.
अच्छा, listen. A1, what was the A1? A1 was 100, right?
Illumination, yeah.
100 illumination. ये जो है, ये जो axis है, इसमें हमारा
Reading capacity है.
Reading capacity आ रहा है. तो
Okay.
A1 अगर मैं यहाँ पे place करती हूँ, A1 मेरा यहाँ है, तो B2 यहाँ है. B2 are the people without the specs, maybe without the specs. Yes, B2 was the people without the specs. तो 100 में B2 people जो है without specs वो यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं, right? और 100 illumination में people with specs यहाँ पर reading capacity चला जा रहा है. यहाँ पर इस ग्राफ में क्या दिखाया जा रहा है? The relationship between A and B. That's it. Nothing else. You cannot see the interaction effect. Can you see the interaction effect? No. Only the A and B.
Okay.
This is what I am saying.
And in the second graph?
Second graph, the same thing. Here, the A2, A1, again the B1, A1 का effect B1 के ऊपर क्या हो रहा है? And ये A2 का effect B2 के ऊपर क्या हो रहा है? The same level, different values. Okay, the same thing. They are saying showing the same thing, but with the different values. Only the main effect, not the interaction.
मैम समझ में नहीं आया है इस सेकंड वाले ग्राफ में क्यों चेंज क्यों हुआ ये जो एक लाइन डायगोनल क्यों हो गई?
मेरे ग्रुप्स अलग थे, मेरे तो ग्रुप अलग अलग है ना. अगर मैं दो ग्रुप्स ले रही हूँ तो मेरे 2 ग्रुप अलग अलग हैं. अगर मान लीजिए आप इसी को लीजिए, आप ये कंफ्यूज हो गया इससे, इसको मत लीजिए, आप इसी को लीजिए, इसी को देखिए कि मेन इफेक्ट यहीं पर है.
ये तो समझ में आ गया ये फर्स्ट वाले ग्राफ. सेकंड वाले ग्राफ में
ये सेकंड वाला ग्राफ भी एक ही चीज दिखा रहा है, लेकिन ये डिफरेंट वैल्यूज के साथ दिखा रहा है.
ओके,
ठीक है. नाउ इंटरेक्शन इफेक्ट में क्या कैसे जाएंगे? In order to test the hypothesis about interaction effect, you must use a factorial design. Factorial design में क्या हुआ? हम लोग 2 by 2 का factorial design करेंगे. मैं बाद में इसकी कैलकुलेशन आपको समझा दूंगी. अभी लेकिन हम लोग we frequently use 3 to 4 variables design, but it is very it become very tough to interpret if it cross the 4 variables. यहाँ पे हमने कितने variables लिए? 2 लिए हैं. You can take up to 4, but if you take more than 4 in ANOVA, it become very difficult to interpret. So now we are coming to the how you calculate the ANOVA. Calculation of the ANOVA is, nowadays we can use it very easily by SPSS and other things. But if you remember your PhD days, you used to calculate, right? You used to calculate the ANOVA. So today I will try to explain it by that how we calculate ANOVA. So if we say there are two estimates of the population variance. Population variance is how the population is varying from the variance is the, how much it is varying from the mean. So it is like how much sample is varying from the mean. So kitna F is what? F is our ANOVA. F is से ही हम लोग F calculate करते हैं. It means कि हम ANOVA की value देते हैं. ANOVA is calculated through F. Like the t-test is for t small t is there, for ANOVA the F is there. So F का formula क्या है? Estimate the population variance on between sample variance and estimate of population variance on within sample variance. Between क्या है? Within क्या है? See, here I have taken how many levels of A?
3.
And how many levels of B?
2.
So what will the design?
3 by 2.
3 by 2. 3 by 2 is the design. So how many treatments I am having? How many groups I am having? A के अंदर हमारा ये मैं दोबारा से उसी example पे जा रही हूँ. Illumination. This is 100 illumination. This is the people with with specs, and these are the people without specs, right? Same way, 50 illumination. What का illumination है? यहाँ पे people will with specs with specs, and this is the B2 is without specs. Same way, group 3 is 10 illumination watt का bulb है, और उसके अंदर मुझे क्या देखना है? Reading speed. So this is the people of less with specs, and these B2 is the people without specs. These are the people जिनकी मैंने reading ली है. This is the reading speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the reading speed. ठीक है? यानी कि इस कंडीशन में 100 वॉट के बल्ब जब लगाया गया था, people with specs give this reading and people without specs they give this. ठीक है? नेक्स्ट, अब मैं इसको काउंट, अब मैं जब कैलकुलेट करना शुरू करती हूँ, सबसे पहले हम लेते हैं करेक्शन फैक्टर. करेक्शन फैक्टर इज समथिंग विच इज द summation of every reading. It means from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, every reading. Total number of readings are, how many readings are there total?
Total 12. 18.
So 18 is the total number of readings I'm having. ठीक है?
मैम जस्ट अ मिनट, जो आपने 2 स्लाइड पहले कहा था कि F जो है द रेशियो ऑफ वेरिएंस बिटवीन सैंपल एंड टू द वेरिएंस ऑफ वेरियस विद इन सैंपल, तो मैम इसका सैंपल से क्या मीन है हमारा यहाँ पे?
Sample is the people
Different, yeah.
who research, right? Population is the universe जहाँ से हम अब सैंपल ले रहे हैं.
जैसे अभी हम एग्जांपल ले रहे हैं स्पेक्ट्स का और इल्यूमिनेशन का.
My sample ना from the universe.
These 6 are the 6 are sample.
मान लीजिए I'm doing this research on college student, right? I want to see the effect of illumination and eyesight on reading rate of college student. तो college
Right.
student is my universe.
Yes ma'am.
या फिर population.
Yeah.
Population से मैं sample ले रही हूँ, तो sample is the people I have selected randomly or non-randomly according to my samples design.
Okay.
So these are the people whom I selected, and this is my sample.
Okay.
18 मेरा sample, total sample size is my 18, which
Yes,
is
ma'am.
divided into different groups. आपकी तरफ से बहुत नॉइज आ रहा है, आप थोड़ा म्यूट करेंगे? 18 is my whole sample size, and my 18 sample size is divided into 3 groups, right? and in 3 groups they are divided into two levels. ठीक है. अब ये जो मेरे लोग हैं, यानी कि मैं बोल सकती हूँ, see here the total cell total is I and J. I is what? I is the I is the A level and the J is the B level, B variable. ठीक है. Total of A is I represented by I and total of B is represented by J. So here I can see my summation. ये summation है. इस category में जब illumination was 100 and people with कितना ये people with specs जो आया, that is 6. The score is 6. Same way different treatment, मेरे तो total 6 treatment groups हो गए थे ना. यहाँ देखिए 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? तो यहाँ पर मैंने उसी को प्लस कर दिया है और मेरे जो मीन है वो ये आ रहा है, या मेरा जो समेशन है, इट्स नॉट मीन बट इट इज द समेशन. हियर इट इज द टोटल स्कोर फॉर लेवल ऑफ A. This is the total score for the level of B, this red one. Now I have to calculate. See, ultimately हम वहीं जाएंगे, हम यहीं पे आएंगे, इसी पे आएंगे हम, लेकिन यहां तक पहुंचने के लिए बिटवीन सैंपल वेरिएंस एंड विद इन सैंपल वेरिएंस का एस्टिमेशन है. वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए हमें इतनी सारी कैलकुलेशन करनी है. ठीक है. सो व्हाट वी विल डूइंग, what is the between, वैसे what is the between and what is the within? Can anybody tell me what do you understand by within variance and between variance?
Within in that sample, suppose 1 2 3, तो
Yes.
इसका variance 2/3 होगा.
Yes, within that particular sample कितना variance करना है. So see, there are these numbers which you are seeing, these are the human being which are working, right? My reading capacity could be different in 100 watt में. मेरे साथ के जो लोग हैं वो भी 100 watt में ही पढ़ रहे हैं. उनकी आईसाइट भी ठीक है, मेरी भी ठीक है मान लीजिए, और हम सारे एक ही ग्रुप में हैं. Then also we will vary, right? Because we have to vary because there are a lot many other things also which playing a role, right? So within the group means मेरा score कितना डिफरेंट है किसी और इंसान के साथ, या आपस में उन लोगों के स्कोर्स कितने डिफरेंट हैं. एक ही ग्रुप में है सारे के सारे, एक ही ट्रीटमेंट ग्रुप में है, बट कितना डिफरेंस है उनका स्कोर एक दूसरे के साथ. एंड विद इन इज एक ट्रीटमेंट का दूसरे ट्रीटमेंट के साथ कितना फर्क पड़ रहा है, राइट? एक ट्रीटमेंट का दूसरे ट्रीटमेंट के साथ कितना फर्क पड़ रहा है.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So here this is the total, how you will do the correctional factors is the sum total of everything and square root of that with the 18. 18 is the n. N was what? Total number of the people who participated. This is something this. Total summation हमने निकाल के रख लिया. उसके बाद SS क्या होता है? S is the squares of sum of squares. Sum of squares total what it will be? सारे का summation मतलब इसका स्क्वायर, इसका स्क्वायर, इसका स्क्वायर, इसका स्क्वायर, इसका स्क्वायर, इसका स्क्वायर, सबका स्क्वायर. ओके, सारे हमारी वैल्यूज का स्क्वायर. यू कैन सी इट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम 1 and it is ending at 30, right? That was the total summation. Sum of squares क्या है यहाँ पे? Total sum of square is सारे का summation minus हमारा correctional factor. This correctional factor actually for the error variance we take. Okay, that is why we इसको हमने ये कर दिया. उसके बाद sum of square errors के लिए हमने क्या किया? Summation minus किया summation of the I and J together. Multiplication of I and J. I को J के साथ multiply किया और उसका summation, उसका square root divided by total n ij, small n ij. उसका ये करने के बाद हमें मिला total sum of square of our error. ये हमने कैसे निकाला? That this is something for टोटल हमें स्क्वायर्स सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स ऑफ ए वेरिएबल निकालने के लिए हमें ये इसकी वैल्यू चाहिए। ये क्या था हमारा, डू यू रिमेम्बर, टोटल ऑफ आई। अगर मैं वापस जाऊं, दिस वाज दिस आई वाले के टोटल स्कोर देख रहे हैं, ये 21 + 21 + 105। सो हेयर इसका स्क्वायर प्लस एन आई ट्रीटमेंट में कितने लोग थे, टोटल लोग कितने थे, उससे डिवाइडेड बाय बार जो भी कुछ हम सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स निकाल रहे हैं उसको हम करेक्शनल फैक्टर के साथ माइनस करके हम उसकी वैल्यू निकाल रहे हैं। ये अभी हाथ से करना नहीं पड़ता, थैंक गॉड वी हैव गुड सॉफ्टवेयर टू डू ऑल दिस, बट स्टिल आई वांट टू शो यू बिकॉज इट गिव अ अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ हाउ थिंग्स आर कंप्यूटेड। अदरवाइज वी नेवर अंडरस्टैंड कि ये वैल्यू कैसे दे दिया, उसने एफ वैल्यू दिया तो एफ वैल्यू दिया कैसे। So to understand it, we should know how computer compute. Same way, I computed the sum of squares for variable b. Same. पहले मैंने इसका जो टोटल था उसका उसके नंबर ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट के साथ रेशो निकाल के इसको कैलकुलेट किया, और सेम वे इसको भी हमने CF के साथ उसको माइनस कर दिया। अब हमने AB is actually the interaction effect. SSA was what? Sum of square A was what? The sum of square for the variable A, which was illumination.
Yeah.
SSB was the sum of squares for what? For the
Specs. Eyesight.
With or without specs. Right.
without and with specs. Category variable है तो without and with specs. And AB is what?
Interaction.
Combination of both. So what we are doing, we are see here, we are यहाँ पर एक माइनस कर रहे हैं हम टोटल IJ में, इन दोनों का जो मल्टीप्लीकेशन था उसमें से माइनस किया टोटल I को, उसमें से माइनस किया टोटल J को, सॉरी टोटल J को टोटल I को, प्लस किया समीशन को। This formula is giving us whole of sum of square of for AB. AB is the sum of square for interaction of A and B. इंटरेक्शन अफेक्ट और कोई हमें नहीं देता। अगर और किसी का देखना है तो वी हैव टू गो फॉर द मेजर बिग स्टडीज एट मीडिएशन मॉडरेशन, दैट इज अ वेरी हाई फाई थिंग, उसमें जाना पड़ता है। लेकिन अगर हमें नॉर्मल लेवल पे इंटरेक्शन देखना है तो हमें अनोवा ही दिखाता है। अब देखिए हमें क्या क्या वैल्यू मिली है, SSA मिला है, सम ऑफ स्क्वायर ऑफ A मिला है, सम ऑफ स्क्वायर ऑफ B मिला है, सम ऑफ स्क्वायर टोटल मिला है। रिमेंबर हमने टोटल स्कोर B को भी प्लस किया था, समेशन किया था, और उसको माइनस किया था CF से। यू कैन सी CF हियर, इट इज रिटन एज CM, इट विल बी CF। सो हियर करेक्शनल फैक्टर्स के इसको माइनस करके हमें क्या क्या वैल्यू मिल रही है वो लिखना है। एंड दिस इज अवर सम ऑफ स्क्वायर फॉर एरर, एंड दिस इज अवर इंटरेक्शन। ये वैल्यू हमने कैलकुलेट की अभी तक। इसके बाद हम क्या करेंगे, कुछ नहीं करेंगे, सिर्फ उसको हम इस पे बिठा देंगे। यहां पर हम बिठा रहे हैं, ठीक है। वेरिएबल A का DF क्या है, DF क्या होता है, व्हाट इज द DF?
Degree of freedom.
डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम। तो हमारे पास A का वेरिएबल A के कितने लेवल्स थे, 3 लेवल थे, तो हमारे पास कितना होगा डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम?
2.
A-1.
A-1 मतलब 3 - 1 विल बी 2, 2 विल बी द डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम। एंड B के लिए क्या था, B के कितने लेवल थे?
2.
तो अगेन B level -1 will give us the degree of freedom of 1. And AB क्या होगा, AB will be
3 into 2.
right 3 into 2,
6.
A का -1 and B का -1, it will give us this, it is 2.
Yeah.
And कितना है, total N minus AB, total N, the small n हमारा कितना था,
18.
18 minus AB,
AB is 2.
it should be 16. And large N is, no, the large N is ये total treatment के अंदर हमारे N कितने हुए, it is total treatment are 3 and 3 6 and 6 18, right? The N is it will be
मैम 18 - 6
मैम ठीक है, ये ठीक है।
हाँ, ये 18 minus 6 is 12 only, right?
Yeah, that's why the total is 17.
And total is here 17. So here you can see our SS was sum of square was this. Remember? यहाँ से इसके पहले
Yes, ma'am.
रुकिए, इसकी पहले वाली स्लाइड में हमारा ये वैल्यूज थे, तो यही
Yes.
वैल्यूज यहाँ पर ये आ रही हैं। और हमारे ये क्या है, मीन स्क्वायर्स, राइट। और हमारा f जो है वो इसको डिवाइड करने के बाद हमारा f की वैल्यू ये आ रही है 52 डिवाइड करने के बाद मतलब 784 डिवाइडेड बाय 392 विल कम 52 and here the f value is 52, 24 and 11. मतलब f value for A is 52, f value for B is 24, f value for AB for interaction effect is 11. See, this was how we computed, but how we, how we put it, like how when you do the research, how you put it. Firstly, पहले हमने क्या बोलना है, हम सबसे पहले जब अनोवा हम जब करते हैं तो हमें वो दोनों चीजें दे रहा है, मीन इफेक्ट भी दे रहा है, इंटरेक्शन इफेक्ट भी दे रहा है ना। मेन इफेक्ट भी तो हम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर। सी, मेन इफेक्ट तो ए था, ए डिफर कर रहा है सिग्निफिकेंटली 3 ग्रुप्स में, नहीं कर रहा, उसके लिए एफ वैल्यू ये है। बी डिफर कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा, उसके लिए एफ वैल्यू ये है। तो हमें अनोवा
Can you tell me how this answer is calculated? I think first, how this 52.27 we got?
मुझे तुम्हारी आवाज नहीं।
Ma'am, how the last column came?
F, last column come from the table. From the table, which is the, if you have the old Garrett with you or the old books with you, you can see the values of this, जो इसको divide करने के बाद आएगा, उसको column 2 पे उसकी value देखने के बाद F value you can have. This is the computational tables which we used to have in our BSc and MSc. Remember?
Okay, ma'am. Yes.
पुरानी बुक्स में अभी भी आपको मिल जाएंगे वो कंप्यूटेशन टेबल्स, ठीक है।
One more question is that
हाँ बोलिए।
You were asking about saying about degree of freedom. What is degree of freedom?
What is degree of freedom?
Yeah, what do we mean by degree of freedom? We just know the procedure.
Degree of freedom is something where the computation can vary. Degree of freedom is for everything. For every variable, when you go for multivariate statistics, you will have the degree of freedom with you. Degree of freedom is something कि कितना तक वैल्यू डिफर कर सकती है अगर आप इतने वेरिएबल्स को लेकर काम करते हैं। आप
किसी आसान एग्जांपल से समझाइए, मैं कभी समझ नहीं पाया इसको आज तक।
अच्छा रुकिए, मुझे पानी पीने दीजिए। थैंक यू। मुझे नहीं पता मैं कितने अच्छे से समझा पाऊंगी, बट स्टिल आई ट्राई। ओके, ए वाज ए में हमारे कितने टोटल ये थे?
ए में 3 थे। 3 there is a
particular formula for degree of freedoms, right? Degree of freedoms for if we see how many treatment groups are there. एक treatment groups कितने थे? 3 थे। तो यहाँ पर 2 is the n-1, the treatment group n, and -1 is our degree of freedom for particular variable, that is A. ठीक है। Same B के लिए हमारे कितने treatment variable थे? Maximum जितना है, maximum is how much treatment variables?
2.
नहीं, for A how much was the maximum?
3
is the maximum जितना कि हमने treatment लेकर चले हैं, ठीक है ना?
Yes.
तो maximum हमने 3 लिया है और -1 कर रहे हैं, उसमें से जिससे हमें डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम मिल रहा है 2। मतलब कि हमारी जो वैल्यू है वो इतनी वेरी कर सकती है एज कंपेयर टू द एरर वेरिएंस, ठीक है। दैट इज समथिंग वेरी, इसके लिए अलग से एक सेशन लेना पड़ेगा इसको पूरा अच्छे से समझाने के लिए। तो अभी आप यहाँ पर इतना ही समझ लीजिए कि व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर एनोवा, ठीक है। फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट, how many treatments you are having, -1 for the total number of this, अगर हमें बोला जाए कि टोटल सैंपल का डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम कितना था, तो हम क्या करेंगे, टोटल नंबर ऑफ द जितना सैंपल है उसमें -1। सो हमेशा अभी जो है, लेट अस concentrate on the formula, what the formula says for the simplicity of the presentation, otherwise it will get hampered. So Yeah, then if what I was saying, that if I say that how to write the hypothesis, there are two type of hypothesis, everybody knows, right? One is null hypothesis, one is alternate hypothesis. यहाँ पर हमारे two variables थे. We will be taking the hypothesis for each variable and for the interaction also. So first variable for the null hypothesis always say that there is no difference. Always say there is no difference or there is no nothing, कुछ भी गड़बड़ नहीं है, सब कुछ नहीं है गड़बड़, ठीक है? And alternative hypothesis says that no, they differ significantly. So here for variable A, our null hypothesis was no difference among the variables for the level of A. मतलब 100, 50 और 10 illumination में watt में जो लोग पढ़ रहे थे, उनकी रीडिंग में कोई significant फर्क नहीं है. This is what is null hypothesis saying. Alternative hypothesis saying that there is difference. The people who were reading in 100, 50 and 10 watt, there was significantly difference was there. So how we do, we ये वही वाला जो estimate of जो variance था, वो उसको हमने A वाला को और divided by error A करके हमें यहाँ से see here, see 2 is our degree of freedom, 0.05 level पे ये significant है और the value is region of rejection was this. So variables इसमें क्या आया, we reject this thing and the decision come that it has a effect. Same way जब हम research में present करते हैं तो हमें एक when we this come in the result section. Result section में when you give your result, you have to discuss all your variable one by one. You have to discuss the variable A, then B, and then the AB, then the interaction effect. So same way you will do for variable B, and then the same thing you will do for variable A and B, which was the interaction effect. Baki, this is the example which was I talking about. So different examples which I took, but already we have 12:15. Next, ma'am ka time ho gaya. So with this, I want to say thank you. This was the ANOVA two-way. Two-way, why two-way? Because here we have two independent variable, which were category variable. Why it was 3/2? Because the first variable, A variable, had the 3 levels. The second variable have the 2 levels. And that is why we were saying 3/2. And why ANOVA? Because when there are more than 2 groups, here it see, अगर मेरे पास सिर्फ मुझे अगर यही करना होता कि illumination 100 में मुझे देखना होता लोग चश्मे के साथ चश्मे के बिना, उन दोनों का फर्क क्या है, तो मैं क्या करती यहाँ पे, मान लीजिए अगर मैं इतना ही स्टडी मुझे करना होता, ये पहला ये वाला डब्बा और ये वाला डब्बा, तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या करती थी, क्योंकि मेरे पास सिर्फ 2 ग्रुप थे और 2 ग्रुप मुझे देखने थे सिग्निफिकेंटली डिफर हो रहे हैं कि नहीं. लेकिन यहाँ पे मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे ये सारी कंडीशन में 6 ट्रीटमेंट ग्रुप्स में देखना है whether this treatment group is different from this treatment group is different from this or not. मतलब ये 3 ट्रीटमेंट ग्रुप एक दूसरे से डिफरेंट है या नहीं. इसके लिए मैंने क्या किया, पहले within का निकाला, then between का निकाला, and then उनका रेशो से मैंने F स्कोर्स निकाला. पहले मैंने between देखा upon within, then उसके रेशो से मुझे F का स्कोर मिला, जो मैंने देखा whether it is significant at 0.05 level or not. And उसके basis में I can say that these groups significantly differ to each other or not, and whether the level of illumination and people with specs and non-specs का effect क्या पड़ता है उनकी रीडिंग के ऊपर. कुछ effect है, अलग है पढ़ने की रीडिंग या एक ही जैसी है. ठीक है, ये मुझे पता चल रहा है कि whether ये लोग एक ही जैसे पढ़ रहे हैं सबके सब या इनकी रीडिंग रेट जो है अलग है या नहीं अलग. Thank you. With this, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I guess मैं कुछ आप लोगों का समझा पाई होंगी ANOVA, but you have to read by yourself also. I try to explain by the example, but you will have to read also to understand.
Ma'am, if you wouldn't mind, would you please explain degrees of freedom once again?
See, degree of freedom is something how much your value of your rating or the sample can vary. very statistically without the error. Okay. If you are saying that the group part 3, there are 3 treatment group. So how much it can have the without the error component, how much degree degree of freedom, मतलब जिसके ऊपर आप error free जिसको आप बोल सके, that will be n-1. 3 treatment group minus 1 will be your degree of freedom. हर एक कंडीशन के लिए हर एक, अगर आप विद इन देख रहे हैं तो कैसे देखेंगे? ये तो था देयर वाज 2 ट्रीटमेंट ग्रुप 3 थे, उसमें आपने माइनस कर लिया. विद इन देखेंगे तो कैसे देखेंगे डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम? कितने लोग थे आपके सैंपल के अंदर? -1. दैट विल बी योर विद इन डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Ma'am, can I add something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, your presentation was very nice and clear. Thank you, ma'am, so much. Thank you so much. Just to add to the discussion of degrees of freedom, there is a simplest formula for calculating degrees of freedom, like how many parameters you have, number of parameters minus the number of equations involving those parameters. So in this case, there are 3 treatment groups for A, and I mean 3 levels, and 3 minus 1 means only one information we have, that is SSA. So if we have 2 information on A, then 3 minus 2 will be the degrees of freedom. But in this case only, it is 3 minus 1. This is the simplest way of understanding degrees of freedom. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Can you please repeat again?
Number of parameters minus number of equations involved in calculating parameters.
Thank you.